Hey friends, I had originally planned to do something slightly different, and I messed up some communications. I was going to have Alyce Eaton on, as she was talking with me on a chat the other day. I left her channel in the description. I'm hoping she responds and jumps on, but she contacted me the other day saying, "Hey, 6 o'clock on Thursday works," but I think she might be in a different time zone, and we never specified what time zone. And um, the other thing is that I didn't actually confirm her email right after she sent it, so that's my bad. But I figured since I had already blocked out the time, that I would just share something with you. So the other day when I was talking with my mother, she was watching one of my live streams, and she said, I think the cool thing that you have going on with some of your live streams is that it seems like you have a pretty strong community that really seems to support each other. And she said, I think something that would be really valuable is if you shared with the community some of these videos. She said that there are celebrities out there that made almost like little PSA videos, which are sharing their coming out story as well as just kind of sharing that it gets better. So I was looking through some videos, and this was the one that I found. I just wanted to share it with you guys. It's not my content. I'm not. I can't monetize this video, but I thought I would share it just because I think a lot of people that have found my channel might get some value from it. So, oh wait, I'm gonna share my screen so that you guys can see the video. I'm just gonna play it for you. So this is Jane Lynch. A bunch of people might recognize her from Glee, but she shares her story of coming out, and she just shares a few things. Here we go.
I grew up in a south suburb of Chicago called Dalton, and it was mostly prairie around us. I have an older sister. She's 2 years older, and a younger brother 2 years younger. My mother's a perfect example of the rhythm method. There were, certain ways you behaved. Girls did certain things, boys did certain things, and I did not fit in that. I identified more with boy things. I enjoyed dressing like a boy. I spent the summers without a shirt on until I was about 10, and my mother was chasing after me going, "Put on a shirt." I remember my dad said, "Her nipples are sprouting." The boys stopped wanting to play with me when I got to be about 10, and I had to fight to play baseball. Every day I didn't know how I was going to be received because I would just hang out until I got to play. Deep down inside, I knew that there was something else going on. I finally had a word for it when I was about 14. I had these friends, and they said, on the beach, sometimes you'll see guys walking together, holding hands, and they're gay for each other. And I went, gay? I am the girl version of that. I went and that's not a good thing, is it?
Remember, it's 1974.
I think I have that. It was almost like I had a disease. I felt like I had been diagnosed. I remember I had a journal, and after I wrote this in the journal, I threw it out. I remember I wrote, "I am gay. No one can ever know this." And I went 4 blocks away and threw it out in somebody else's garbage. For me, to be ostracized would have been the worst thing. To be thought of as different and not accepted was a fate worse than death. So I had to make some really big decisions about how I was going to go forth in life and who I was going to tell something to. And it also led to kind of a life of secrecy that I had to unravel. The 70s was a freewheeling time, and there was a lot of raising of the consciousness. But the knowledge of my being gay when I was in high school was pushed down pretty far. But my best friend, Christopher, was a lot more unafraid of what people thought of him. Although he wasn't running around going, "I'm gay," but he was very effeminate and very out there and dyed his hair like clown red. People loved him and hated him. He was fine with that. Kind of. I don't think anybody's fine with it, but he was kind of like about it. Whereas I was just like, "Oh, don't make them dislike you," But we also never said, "I'm gay. Are you gay?" We never talked about it. But just the fact that it was unspoken, we took great refuge in each other, great comfort in each other, even though it wasn't something we talked about. After graduate school, I went to New York, and I started hanging out in piano bars, which are just riddled with gays. So I started to become part of a gay community, and I started to be more open about it. I started to date people and started to have flings with people because I went to New York. I went to a place where there are a lot of gay people and who are self-empowered and don't think there's anything wrong with being gay. And then you kind of like catch that, it's like a good virus. I found my people. I believe that people come into our life. We draw our people to us. And, just always keep your eye open, your heart open for those like-minded, like-hearted others. It doesn't even have to be somebody else who's gay going through this, but just somebody who is sympathetic, and they will come your way. You're going to find your people. And now I live in a world where I don't give a shit if you have a problem with who I am.
Use the language.
I'm 54 years old. I live in Los Angeles. I am on television. Every day I do something creative. I'm asked to do things now. I'm invited places. And, I had that deep, dark secret that there was something wrong with me. And that if people found out that, I would be shunned and kept from doing what I really wanted to do. And that just hasn't been the case. And it doesn't have to be the case for anybody. Julie, not a good time. It's a very important event.
Got a little bit more time. Let's get
Okay. That persistence that kept me on the baseball field even when the boys weren't letting me play, that served me. That served me in my career. My desire to play is much stronger than my fear of rejection. And I think dealing with my sexuality as a young person started that ball rolling. You're going to find something in you. You're going to pull something out of your feet that is going to help you move on. It's going to be something really strong and true, and it's going to make you a more extraordinary person. You're going to find something in you that's going to give you the get up and go, and you're going to use that all through your life. It does get better, and it got better for me.
So the YouTube channel is it Gets Better project, and I really love their message. I think their goal is for a lot of teenagers out there, for a lot of people that haven't come out, that they're in the closet, they're working through challenges in life. They are creating videos. They're getting people that are on a bigger stage than all of us sort of unknown people. Not that we're unknown, but you know what I'm saying. And I think it's a great YouTube channel. So I guess it's a shout out to it. But yeah, my mom showed it to me the other day because she was saying that she thought that my viewers would really get something out of it by watching those videos. P.S. I'm just getting into the chat now, so I'm just seeing now. But yeah, so I haven't been able to get Alyce with me. Originally, it was going to be talking with her about her coming out story and sharing some challenges that she went through, and or some of the things that sort of some experiences she had, some tips for you all. So I'm excited for making that happen and not messing up the communication in the future. But I apologize to her. Hopefully she'll come back and email me back, and we'll try again soon. Hey, Coffee Coco. Hey, Dev. Hey, Gemma. I can relate, Tara. I wear boy clothing. Feel good. I'm glad to hear you feel good to be here, Gemma. Sleep Master, hey, what's going on right now? I was in the middle of you in the back to school shopping. Sleep Master, you're killing me with that stuff. But yeah, I've decided sort of on this channel, Zachary Watson, since there's so many people that found me through the Pride Flag video, that I'm gonna make this channel a bit more just dedicated to that community, because I think the LGBTQIA+ community seems to resonate with my message and the way I carry myself, and the fact that I have a flag in my classroom. So, the community came to me. So who would I be to not serve them? So my plan is to share coming out letters, have gay people come on and talk about their experiences, help empower others, and help build a community of people that can sort of rely on each other. I've seen a couple of people already really help out each other, like in the chat. So I'm here to facilitate that on this channel. New letters, I don't know. Coffee Coco. So lesbian, gay, bi, transgender. Q is either queer or questioning. There's a lot of people that have a lot of opinions about those two. A is asexual. I is intersex, and Some people say is also ally. So there's various different letters that people actually use for those. I'm not going to claim that I know which one's right or which one's not right. I've just been under the impression that they can sort of coexist. I will hop on if you like. Yeah, Gemma, do you want to? I was thinking maybe going till about 6:30, but sure, I can have you jump on. Give me a second. So, for those of you that don't know Gemma, she is also a YouTuber. She's been we've been working quite a bit together. I did a 21 day poetry challenge as she shared with me um, some. She shared with me that she wanted to do poems. She had them and she wasn't sharing them much. And I challenged her to come do them out loud on YouTube. So the past 21 days, been doing poetry and we're still writing stuff. P.S. I just sent it to. Oh, there you are. Cool.
I'm here.
Jen, while you're here, why don't you share a little bit about maybe what it's like to be? So Gemma identifies as asexual. Why don't you share a little bit about that? Since I think that's kind of what this community is for.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, it started about 5-6 years ago. I was watching a documentary on TV, and it said about people with disabilities don't know about their sexuality. They don't know where to fit, and I've always questioned myself where I identify myself and where I felt safe, and I've always questioned kind of what my sexuality means, and am I into the standard boys? Was I into dating? Did I want to just date guys? And the last 3 years I've been looking into it, and ever since I saw that Jane Lynch story just now, and I watched Glee, and there was a girl on there who said she was asexual and she had Down syndrome, and I was just like, wow, that's me. Like, I don't think about boys sexually, never have. Don't think about men. Don't think about women that way. Like, I'm not bothered by like the thought of dating, romance. I've never been bothered by any of that stuff. I'm not what's the word before I get in trouble? Oh, I'm not kind of intimate. That's it, intimate.
Yeah.
Person, as it were. And I don't even do it to my own parents. Like, I've never hugged or kissed my parents apart from my dad. And my mum and my sister was being like, "You're weird, Gemma. What's wrong with you? Like, why don't you show affection to anybody?" And it now rings home because it's like, I don't like that intimate contact. I don't feel comfortable. I would rather go 1,000 miles away from it. And I finally fit somewhere. It describes me. It gives me a home to go to. And
it sounds almost like kind of like what Jane was saying, is that she realized one day when someone was saying like, oh, these guys today hold hands on the beach and they're gay for each other, and she's like, oh, like that's what I am. It sounds like you had sort of an epiphany like that as well.
yeah, definitely. I think the last 3 years, oh gosh, I might get emotional. Oh dear. That Yeah, I think being in that community is really hard, especially as a person with autism. It sucks because my emotions are all over the place, and knowing that I identify with being asexual and knowing that you said to me about being proud, I'm just like, oh God. Oh, Gemma, come on, sort yourself out, woman. Yeah, and I'm finally proud that I can identify myself. It's been 5 long years of hiding, and I don't want to hide anymore. I haven't even admitted this to my own parents yet, and I'm dreading it.
I thought you did.
Well, told my dad partly. Still haven't told my mum. Partly told my sister, but
I thought you like, came out to them, and then they're like, "Oh, I thought they like laughed it off or something."
Yeah, my dad has. My dad's pretty much cool. My mum still needs a bit convincing, but my dad is fully behind me. He knows that I'm different and knows that I don't talk about sex, relationships, all that
right.
kind of stuff. Never have. He's tried to do it with me. He's tried to sort of say, boys and what they like, and they like girls, and you're a pretty girl, and blah blah blah. And I just been like, I'm not interested in boys. I don't want to go near boys. Like, no, 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 no. Don't want to go near there. And then my dad was like, whatever. You don't want to go near boys, men sexually ever. I was like, no, pretty much. I was like, that the thought of approaching a man scares the hell out of me. And for two, because of my autism and the way that I stupidly see things, like I've seen things today, um, I've gone from being in a suitable peace level to wallet bang within like 4 hours, and just watching that video, I'm just like, I'm sitting here in tears. I'm like, oh my, wow, okay, I need to come on to Zach's channel and be like, I need to speak about this because I've had enough of hiding now. It's been 5 years, damn it, and I finally accept myself, and it's a struggle. I'm scared to tell my friends that I need to come out, and that's what's scaring me. I know I need to be truthful to people, and it's difficult. And you've given me my voice back. Oh God, not again.
I
Oh
haven't given you anything back. It's been there all along. I just got things out of the way that were in your way.
yeah, like you said, yeah, yeah. And I just today's just been a real day of discovery, and I think that's the most important message. If I can say to someone, please come out, whether it's to someone who you've known for a long while or to a short-term while. Like, I've known Zach now for probably what, 6 months or so,
Like,
and I
like
trust him,
three.
I trust him with my life. If I was to tell anybody, I'd run to Zach and tell him. That's the one person who I'd run to because I don't feel safe talking to anybody else. And that sounds lame.
Except for all the people on YouTube that are gonna watch this later, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these videos on this channel have been getting like probably over 100 views, so people are gonna know. And by the way, so uh, for
Oh,
I'll put it in the show notes after, but Gemma has her own YouTube channel. She talks a lot about autism, as she has autism as well, and
I'm sorry.
she does a lot of live streaming. She does a lot of poetry,
I'm
and
sorry.
she's a great. You don't have to be sorry. Uh, she's a really great advocate for other people that are trying to transcend the labels that people give them. Um, and I think she's received negative feedback, people saying like, Gemma, you have autism, how do you have a YouTube channel? And she kind of stuck it to him, like, because I do, because I hit the record button.
Hit the record button, press go, sit here in front of my iPad camera,
Yeah,
talk to the screen, and it's just like edit, upload, bang, press the send button, done, leave it.
yeah.
And
So for
yeah,
other people that are new to Gemma, another thing I really like about her is that she shows a lot of courage. There have been plenty of people that I've challenged in my life to do things publicly, that,
and being an emotional mess, yes.
that of you're trying, and she's been quite steadfast in taking on those challenges and tackling them and powering through the fright of it. Um, so Gemma, I acknowledge you for taking on the challenge, talking about a lot of the topics that you have with the poems in the past 21 days, and one of the things I've also been like, you keep showing up on a bunch of other channels. Like, you've been making a lot of friends online, and it's
Yeah,
really inspiring to see because I think, I mean, you've described yourself as having a lot of challenges with communication, and I mean, for you to be showing up on a bunch of other YouTube channels, you must be communicating pretty well.
yes and no, apart from today, which is why I'm kind of like the texture on Hangouts crashing because
I'm, I still feel like I'm missing something about that. So let me get this straight. And so I know this is sort of off topic, but at the same time, for viewers out there, what I would invite you to take away from is, I'm going to talk with her right now about something she's stressed about, as long as you're okay talking about Gemma.
yeah,
And
yeah,
for those that are also stressed out about other things, see if you can take the same questions I'm asking her and apply.
yeah.
So here's what I understood that you said, and maybe I understood something wrong. You
Okay.
you're on the channel of you were viewing, or you were actually a guest on the channel.
I was guest on the live stream. Yeah.
And this was Enjoying Life. His name is Pete, and he had. So you were a guest on the channel,
Yeah.
similar to right now. You're a guest on here,
Yeah.
and you also. Someone else went to come on, naming his name is Eli, and
Yeah.
accidentally they I'm guessing that Pete tried to get Eli on by putting the link to it
Yeah.
in
In the
chat
chat.
rather than in a personal message. And so
Yeah.
Eli came on, and then someone else clicked the link that was just trying to mess with people, and then he booted Eli off, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So where that's it?
Well, pretty much. Apart from I did tell Pete in the chat to not do that, and then it kind of transpired that Eli went live on his channel and named it Train Wreck Interview, blah blah. Rang me, invited me on as the guest. I went on there and I gave my opinion to him. I said, look, I don't disrespect anybody. I'm a nice person. Like, it's a shame things have happened. I told Pete what I thought.
Was Eli talking about the other channel? Like,
Yeah.
oh, so he's saying that Pete sort of sabotaged him or something?
Yeah, basically it's kicked off, and then people have now accused me of being like this sheep in the middle, and that's why I backed away from Eli's chat and then texted you, and I was like, I'm crashing, because it's kind of
Well, I mean, what does it mean to be a sheep? I don't get that.
like people are saying that I'm just a sheep that's been put in the middle and used and mistreated, and another thing with being autistic is I struggle to read people's perceptions and their intentions, and
I think as long as you stay objective about what happened, which was,
yeah,
um,
is what I have done.
you speak
Yeah.
your truth of it. I don't think there's much that they can say that's harmful. Like, I
No,
mean, if someone called me a sheep, I don't know what I would say to them. But I mean, if I were on a guest on somebody's stream, uh, and then accidentally the chat got the link got put into the comments, and then I got booted. Like, I think I would just laugh it off. And if I went to go be live and then had you come on, like, as you were also a guest,
yeah.
I feel like I would just talk about the silly and ridiculousness of what had just transpired. But
Yeah, that's kind of the situation, and then it's kind of made me feel extremely crappy, and I've
no,
gone,
you're making you feel that way. That's
oh,
you. You're making you feel that way. It's not making you do anything.
well, it kind of is because it's made me feel
No,
absolutely,
no, take responsibility. It's
yes,
not doing
Zach,
anything.
sorry, Zach, yes, Zach, yes, I need to take responsibility for how I feel, yes, and I have made myself feel emotional, and the fact that I've been struggling all day
Yeah.
with making decisions and making myself clarified and probably not getting my words out properly on my live streams, which I've done today, which probably again was my big mistake. I probably shouldn't have done them, but at the same point, I'm trying, and all this has just gone bang, wallop, and it's and like I said, I've been struggling with coming out with the whole LGBTQ thing, and that's played a big issue in my head. And I know tomorrow when I have arranged to phone my sister and have this chat with her about being in the LGBTQ, and she doesn't really understand what it means, and I'm really nervous because I know my sister is probably going to end up speaking down to me, or I'm petrified speaking to her. She's 26 years old and she acts more grown up than me.
All right. Well, if you were to expect ahead of time that she's going to act a certain way around you, um, would the value of that be that you can now at least be free, uh, even if she dislikes like what she hears and she doesn't accept that you're something different from what she had perceived before?
Yeah.
Like, how would you like to be in the face of that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think for me, okay, use positive language, Gemma. Um, I would like it to be easier for me. I think
No, no. Who do you want to be? Sort of like right now, you are. I would say that you're being nervous. You're being um,
oh, okay.
concerned. How would like after that conversation? How would you like to feel? How would you like to be being? Like being excited,
Happy.
being free? Like how do you want to be by the end of
I
that?
want to, I want to be obviously happy. I want to be myself. I don't want to feel like I've got this weight on me, which has been hiding in me for 5 years.
All right.
And
So we'll just leave it at that. So you want to be happy.
yeah,
Is it possible that you could be happy no matter what she does?
yes, it's the way that I look at it.
It's possible, right? It might be
Yeah,
challenging, but it's possible.
yes, of
So
course.
here's what I want you to consider. It's not the truth. It's not fault. It's not also not false. It's just a possibility. Is whatever you end up telling her, you can be happy that it's off your chest. That you can choose to talk about it more with her or not, and that's up to you in the later. But you can choose for yourself. I get to be happy if I say so.
Yeah. Um, um, I've made. Oh wow, I think I made a good decision for tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I probably haven't, but I want to do a. In my head, it sounds like a good idea, but I'm kind of not sure. I want to do a LGBT video, but no, Gemma. I think about it the other way. I was feeling slightly anxious and nervous because I know you were going to say Gemma, so I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm going to rephrase it.
yeah.
Um, I want to do a video about LGBT to advise people and kind of give my story, my outlet to what I'm doing now, like talking to you, but is that slight fear that I'm gonna muck it up or say something inappropriate, and that petrifies me, even sitting here still thinking about it.
How could you muck it up?
Because I could say something inappropriate, or someone
Like,
may think I'm
like
offensive,
what's
or
something super inappropriate that you could muck up?
this in this live stream, for instance,
How are you mucking it up? I don't understand.
by potentially being nervous and my hands twitching like mad right now, and I'm trying to sit still and not.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'm not worried about it.
No, it's annoying me 'cause it's like I can feel my hand trembling. It's
I just let your
no.
hand be. Let your hand
Huh?
just let your hand have tremors.
No, it's
Don't hate your
annoying.
hand
It's
for
frustrating
doing
me.
what it does. That's like yelling at the sun for being too hot. It's just the sun. It's not gonna change its ways for you. Let your
No,
hand be.
okay, put it there on my lap. I'm trying not to worry about it, but it's annoying. It's because no, ah, it's because I'm anxious right now. I'm on a scale of, I'd say I'm probably at a 1 right now,
Your
if that.
is up at a one.
Yeah,
Why not a zero?
because I'm slightly feeling calmer being on here with you.
Okay, good. What can we do to get you to a two?
Uh, talk some talk about your inspiration for doing this channel, or do something that's not about me.
So you want the spotlight off of you? Here's what I want you to do. Um, my you remember Libby Easton? She's on the
Yeah,
chat quite a
that'd
bit.
be, yeah,
This is what she told me to do when I'm feeling stressed out. Take your two fingers, put it on your I don't know what vein this is, but so you can feel your heartbeat.
yeah.
Breathe in and breathe out and feel the beat of your blood going. She told me to just love the fact that it's beating and just be appreciative of the moment where you're feeling your own blood pumping.
Wow, I never thought of that before. That's really a clever thing of
All right,
doing.
ready? Come on. Just we're gonna everyone who's watching, do it with us. All right, we're gonna be quiet for a minute or so. And as you guys are doing this, you can be thinking about your breathing, sort of focus on it. And as some of the guided meditations I've done, they say, feel the weight of your butt on the chair, feel the weight of your feet on the ground.
Oh,
Your
God.
mind wanders off, just lightly
Oh,
bring it back to focusing on your blood.
oh.
How do you feel?
Like that. I still feel like an emotional mess, but
What's your peace level at now?
huh?
What's your peace level at now?
Probably approaching the 2, just.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
It's
Um,
just, I just,
you
oh,
meditate at all, Gemma?
huh?
Do you meditate at all?
Yeah, I do it, not as often as I probably should be doing, but
Well, you don't have to. You shouldn't do anything. You could do things though.
I
Um,
should be doing it more. I did enjoy it when I did do it before, and
you know
because I,
why? You know why you don't do it is because you're telling you should do it. We don't. Humans don't like doing things that they should do. They love doing things they could do though.
yeah, which I could could be doing, and yeah, should be doing before bed, and
Just stop with the shit. Stop shitting on yourself.
it's because it's normal.
Yeah. And what does normal get us? Normal gets us anxiety. Like
Yes,
the whole world is anxious and depressed and sad. Like when you watch the news, the norm is 90% of it's all negative. So
I
let's
don't watch
let's
news.
try to you're the one that said earlier that you don't want to be normal.
I don't want to be normal. I don't
All
conform to
right.
the.
Then we're gonna drop the word shit from our vocabulary and say could instead.
Yes, very yes. Okay, very good. That's a very good point. It's I must say one thing. I'm proud to be LGBTQ and guys, girls, women, men, I should say, because I was going to be little everybody on here. Um, be proud of who you are, and yes, you may struggle. Yes, I may struggle at the moment, and I flip flop in between being happy, emotional, and whatever I may feel during the day. But it's a feeling. It will pass, and once you give it time to pass and get gone, things get easier. And if you can go to someone that you trust, a teacher, a parent, a friend, a social worker, anyone who you have that connection with, please go and see them, because, or a YouTuber friend, someone who is trustworthy enough to be a friend on here, you can reach out to Zach, to me. I'm happy for Zach to share my email. If people want to contact me, that's fine.
I mean, you can throw it in the chat if you want.
I'm in the Hangouts call. I don't know how to. If you can put you got my email, haven't you, Zach? If you put it in the chat for me,
What is it again?
it's Gemma Grace 1988 at gmail.com. So if anyone has any questions about LGBTQ issues, or they want to talk about anything, anxiety or anything like that, I'm open. I'm an open book, really. I don't hold anything back from anyone. Zach's had me on here several times on his other channel as well. So if he wants to share my email out,
Yeah,
and
I just
on Twitter at Gemma_Gems1. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll
I
communicate on there.
pause you for a second. So in the chat we got Sleep Master, my favorite master of sleep.
Oh, hello, buddy.
And so Sleep Master says, they said, y'all, I came out to my parents finally. I told them what I chose to sleep with is my business. If y'all love me, you should accept me for who I am. I'm sorry, but it's my life. They finally accepted. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yay!
Invited
Woohoo!
Sleep Master on, and they said, nah, I just wanted to vent, which I'm really glad they did. And they said, thanks for accepting. I told everyone about my rape story, and I'm scared now. So also Sleep Master, I'm close with multiple people that have gone through experiences like that. So if you want to reach out to me and talk about it, I'm no therapist, but I'll listen. And I would probably recommend, similar to what she was saying, is find some people to keep talking to that will accept you. And the reason
Definitely.
I went and grabbed this is Sleep Master. I want you to, if you have something nearby you, I want you to literally just grab like a bag, and I'm gonna hug this as if I'm hugging you. All right. So I want you to feel the hug through the internet.
Oh.
We love you, Sleep Master.
Yes, I'm here, Sleep Master, for you if you want to chat to me. I was chatting to you today on my live stream, so if you want to contact me, feel free to contact me. And I want to say a thing about you, Zach, as well.
Yep.
People, please, 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 whatever you do, reach out to Zach. And he's an amazing guy, and I know you guys know that. That's why you're here. And I know he has 2 fantastic run channels, and he has a lot of experience with things like this. And without you, Zach, we would be stuck. And me from the UK, on very little support that I have over here, to have you is, yeah, a blessing. And I'd be lost without you.
Well, thank you for that. I want to disagree with you. I don't want to take credit for that, but I'll let you say it. Thank you for the acknowledgement. High Wind Odyssey says, and I know this has been sitting here for a bit, I feel as though society has always tried to cast a discriminatory gloom on those who decide to resonate retribution, liberation, and love. That is out of the norm to the stagnant attitude of others. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And you're using big words. I have to look up what you mean by retribution. I think I get the idea.
Isn't that like when people like try and argue, debate back? It's what my understanding is of it, but I may be wrong. I don't know.
I don't know either. And Tom
Gosh, what's wrong with me today? Oh,
saying I don't know if I'm gay or not. So Thomas, I don't know what to say about that. I personally, as far as I know, I am. As far as I know, I'm not gay, and I don't know what it's. I'm pretty sure I'm not gay anyway. I've never had romantic feelings or emotions towards men. I love my dad. I have a really good relationship. I'm great friends with my guy friends, and I've never felt myself being romantically attracted to them. So, thank you, Basic B. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to tell you what you are. I would imagine Gemma actually might be able to speak to that, as she's described that she's never felt romantic or sexual connections with other people. And
yeah, I think that's a topic that people find hard to discuss. Like, I only plucked up the courage to tell my dad this, probably about 2 weeks ago. My uncle, his brother was down, and they were having a joke about sexuality in my dad's garden. And I came out to hear it, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. You're talking about sexuality. Okay, while we're on the topic, let's go. And they're like, what do you mean, let's go? I was like, well, I've got something to tell you. And my uncle was like, oh, really, Gemma? I was like, yeah. And I said to him, you know what? I said, the LGBT is a spectrum. I said, everyone has a different way of identifying in it. He's like, yeah, 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 yeah. And he was like, yeah, so where do you fall, Gemma? And I was like, well, I fall in the QIA plus section because I feel I'm on the asexual spectrum. And he turned around and said to me, oh, Gemma, you don't know what you're talking about, like autism has made you confused and you don't know what sexuality means, like you totally don't get it. And I was like, no, I get it. Trust me. I've researched it. I've been on forums. I have been on websites where I've screenshot the information about it. I'm like, read this. Like, tell me this isn't me. Like, if you think this isn't me, unless you've got proof and you feel that I'm wrong, then all by means confront me about it. Talk to me about it. And my uncle, after about an hour of debating with me, he's like, wow, Gemma, I'm completely taken aback by you. Like, what you've given me this information and what you've said to me, it totally rings true. Like, everything is right. You have never dated a man. You've never wanted to be intimate with a man. You've never gone on a dating site. You've never connected yourself to males that are out there potentially that could be good for you. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't feel like I should conform to what's expected of me because I'm a woman. So, oh, you must date a man, you must be normal. Sorry, stupid label, stupid word. I'm not normal. I never have been. I'm a unique human being who has a different brain set to the rest of you, and I'm proud to be different. And I will come out here now, and I will say, yes, it took me 5 years to come out, everybody, and I'm nearly 30 years old, but I've come out. I've been myself,
By the way,
and
Gemma, something that you might want to say, I know you kind of corrected yourself when you said normal.
yeah,
Something you could say, which I think would be accurate, and it wouldn't like you wouldn't feel like you're offending anyone, is if
yeah,
you're in a minority or you're not in the majority.
yeah. I was waiting for you to correct me. That's why I kind of tried to correct myself. I'm like,
And I want to come back to the chat because I know that you're trying to respond to Thomas's question, and Thomas put something else in. Um,
okay,
and I'll come back to you, Sleep Master. Says it was too difficult for me when I was growing up in my teenage years, especially with family, because they take things the wrong way and also old school. But I still find it difficult. So Thomas, I think what I would probably say is it's also like I don't know what intersex is. It's possible. You'd have to do more research on that one, but it's also possible you're pansexual. So it sounds like if you don't know if you're gay or not, it's like maybe you feel like you're attracted to um, people of multiple, like men and women and transgender people. So I know pansexual is like you just love people and you don't look at gender. And my understanding of being bisexual is that you're attracted to both. So it's possible that you're pan or bi, or maybe you're straight or gay. But I'm not. I guess you'd have to look inside of you and say to yourself, do you have romantic feelings, experiences toward a specific set of people that seem to share the same attributes, or maybe it's that you're finding yourself attracted to a lot of different people.
oh,
So that would be where I guess I would look to try if you're interested in figuring that out. It sounds also like you wanted to share that with your family, but because they take things the wrong way, you don't want to share it with them. You don't want to have that discussion with them because they might take it the wrong way. So I absolutely don't blame you. I would probably have kept that to myself as well and not talked with them about it. But we're here for you. But wouldn't that get lonely in the wrong one? So basic B is asking you, Gemma, wouldn't that
yeah.
get lonely in the long run to be asexual?
What was the question? Sorry.
But wouldn't that get lonely in the long run?
I wouldn't say it's lonely. Like for me, it's freedom more than anything because I've had to try and I guess conform to some sort of social rule. I've had to try and be what my parents have expected of me, and I've always known of different. Like I know that I don't fit in
Okay.
socially, and I don't. I don't feel lonely. No, I wouldn't say it's lonely. I'd say it's liberating, and it's about time that I can admit that to myself. Oh, okay.
Right. Um, I also wanted to address what Sleep Master had said. So Sleep
Yeah.
Master said, referring back to her rape story. She said, it was a girl. I was 8 years old and she was 12, and she threatened to kill me. But this is when I was a kid, and now I'm a teen. One thing I would say to you, Sleep Master, as I've spoken with people that have gone through similar things, is that it's I know that it's hard for people to admit, and I know it takes a lot of courage to share with people that you've gone through abuses like that. And I'm sure for a long time you were probably traumatized. I imagine you're probably traumatized by someone threatening to kill you. So I really want to acknowledge you. I acknowledge you for having the courage to share that with people, and I imagine it on some level it's freeing, but I imagine on some level it's also scary saying it, because I know that some people have said the moment that you kind of share something out loud, it's like you're admitting it to yourself. And I know sometimes when people have gone through abuses like that, is that they almost try to convince themselves that it hasn't happened. Um, Someone pretty close to me has talked about that, is that they've sort of at times they've convinced themselves that things didn't happen. And that's sort of, it's part of the process of healing from something like that. So um, I just totally acknowledge you for having the courage to talk about it. And thank you for sharing it with us. I know that takes courage as well. And I hope that you're, by Basic B, I hope also that you're speaking with somebody about it, maybe a therapist or a psychologist or someone, as I know that those people are trained to work with people that have gone through things like that, and I know that they've been really helpful for some of the people in my life that have gone through traumas like that. So I definitely invite you to continue or start getting just I don't want to say help, but I want to say someone that will professionally listen to you, because I
Yeah,
know there's
support.
a lot that probably comes with that I can't say that I really have an idea of what it's like, and I know that it can be burdensome. Um, Highwind Odyssey says there's a misconception about pride where others think it is about being proud of nothing, when in reality it's about celebrating our survival and love through another year of discrimination. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think when I went to the Pride parade in Boston this year, um, I had a similar experience where some people were like hating on the fact that people were proud about their differences. And I mean, I think if we can be proud about our differences and what makes us not in the majority, I think it allows us to have pride over our individualism. And I totally agree with you. For some people, it really occurs like survival. Um, and so I can see where people would probably have that misconception. I agree with you. Um, Slim says, I'm speaking to my doctor about it. She said she will help me get through this. I'm really glad to hear that. High abstract possibilities. We're just addressing some of the things that were in the chat. And we at the beginning of the stream we shared a story. I forget her name, Jane. I forget what her last name is.
Jane Lynch.
Oh, Jane Lynch.
Yeah.
Thomas says, I appreciate your support very much, in Gemma Grace as well. Thank you, Tom. I was gonna say,
I'm fiddling with a fidget spinner this whole time, so it's been my hand to keep me calm.
has your peace level gone up?
Not yet. No.
So one of the things, for those of you that don't understand what I'm talking about when I asked Gemma about her peace level, is the other morning we were on. I was interviewing this young lady in Australia. Well, I guess she's my age, Catherine, and
Yeah.
Joe was just saying some things in the chat, saying that she was stressed out, and I think both me and Catherine said, "What if you were to start thinking about and considering, like the opposite? Like instead of your stress level, like the opposite of stress is being peaceful. So what's your peace level at? So if your stress is at a 10, maybe you could have a peace level of 0.5. But I think on some in some way we're never really at zero. I think that would be fair to say that there's always like a 0.5 or a 0.0123. But I've been asking Gemma to say what her peace level is, because I think if you focus on the most things that you want,
I'd say right now I'm probably 2.5 ish.
So and I think the other thing that so she was saying earlier that she was with two other YouTubers, and they were having a a session with her, and she she was. It sounds like you were called out for, I don't know, almost like not picking a side or something like that.
Yeah, I was trying to keep things balanced because I was
Yeah, and
both.
you just want to see the people around you be peaceful, and I think that's
Yeah.
noble. And I think it would be really easy to start throwing blame around. So, I mean, that's something I would do. My goal would be to help people look at things objectively and just be like, look, I'm not sure. I apologize that it occurs that way too, and this is what I saw happened, and I don't think there's really anything to apologize for. It was just a simple mistake. Um,
Hmm.
I think it's your heart that you really want, people to not feel hated on and not feel uh, ostracized. As I'm sure the guy that got booted, I imagine that's maybe how he felt.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
trying to keep the peace is noble, and at the same time, I know it can be challenging to step up and say, "Look, this is what happened." Both like and be like a mediator. Sometimes being a mediator is tough. I
Yeah.
was in middle school, and I remember that sucking because it's like you have to
Which is
hear
why
both
I'm,
sides.
yeah.
You have to tell both sides to shut up and listen to some
Which is why I've got my fidget spinner here to keep me calm because I'm kind of feeling like I'm exploding.
But yeah, sometimes you gotta tell both sides to be objective, and it's not easy because they both have their opinions. They're both maybe heated about it, and and sometimes it's hard to sway people. So um, I think you should just keep doing what you're doing, and it it sounds like it. I don't know what I would do in the future. I think the value you could take from it is ask yourself, if the same thing were to happen, would you do anything differently? So would you do anything differently? And PS, my laptop's at about 10%, so I'm probably gonna.
Probably not give my opinion in the first place. Probably I should have just uh, backed off and not said anything. I think probably I've made a situation, well, in my head. I haven't made a situation physically happen, but in my head, I've made myself a situation, and now I'm paying the price for it.
So next time you think you would just not say anything. So it was that you were on Pete's live stream and then you were invited to go on Eli's. So then you jumped
Yeah,
onto Eli's.
yeah.
Um,
I think I made a big mistake in
did he
doing.
not want to come back to the previous one? He didn't want to come back to Pete's.
No, he decided he didn't want to, and then it's kind of gone a bit weird from there. And then
What were you guys talking about on like? What was the conversation about over there?
basically, when I was on Pete's live stream, the whole topic was he's meant to be interviewing Eli about his job and why he's a life coach. And Pete knew that he'd made a mistake with putting the Hangouts link in the chat. And everyone's like, Pete, don't do that, take it off, don't do it because you're going to get trolled.
Yeah,
And Pete ignored it and ignored it and ignored it. And boom, within literally, what, 2 minutes, if that,
yeah,
trolls jumped straight on. And all of a sudden, Eli was gone. He couldn't get back on. They'd blocked him on Pete's channel. They'd blocked him on the Hangouts. And then Pete had to restart everything. And it just went from bad to worse. And I
no.
kind of,
I
it's
mean,
just like,
I don't think it went bats. It just sounds like people went on that weren't meant to, and
yeah,
he ended his live stream. And I think we can add a lot of meaning, we can add a lot of drama to it, and I think simply some people that wanted to disrupt things accomplished that. So
yeah,
good for them for taking advantage of their short opportunity.
yeah. But
Um,
I
I'm
did write,
I'm
I
sure
have written
he
another
learned
poem
a
since then.
valuable lesson is if in the future he wants to have things go as smooth as possible, maybe don't put it in the chat. So it
Yeah,
sounds like it sounds like he was, when you said there, maybe he was like actively ignoring the advice to take it off.
yeah,
Okay. I mean, I guess I could see where Eli might be offended about that if he was expecting trolls to come on, and he, I imagine Pete was being good natured and assuming that
Yeah, yeah. I know Pete wasn't being disrespectful by any stretch of the imagination. I think it was just a learning curve for him
yeah.
and a learning curve for everybody in that room.
I can
And
imagine myself making that same mistake.
it's, yeah, now I look at it, oh no, Gemma, not again.
What
I,
it happened before.
yeah, I've kind of had situations like this where I've made a situation in my head and something's happened on a stream, or I've been part of a chat room where something has happened and all of a sudden I feel bad because someone's upset and I'm like, oh, I can't cope with this, I don't know what to do, and I get hit up, I get upset, and tonight again it's re-happened. It's the whole emotion thing has gone from being fairly peaceful today. I was peaceful, I was feeling good, and I've gone from being like a 5 and I've crashed down to like a 1, and then it's like, nah, why, what, I don't understand this, why do I feel like this, why is my body aching, and why am I feeling an emotional mess? And
Just what our bodies do. Our bodies are trying. Well, I mean, if you think about what our bodies are designed to do, back when we were literally in survival mode 100% of the time, like back when we were cavemen, um, like our bodies were always on the lookout for like predators. So one of the things that our bodies do is when we feel a threat, our hair stands straight up and we get sweaty palms and what did you say, chills and aches and pains and stuff. That's our body trying to tell us that there's a threat. The only difference is now that we live in the 21st century and we don't really have to worry that much about like direct, like life threatening things. Our bodies still do the same job of trying
yeah,
to judge things that are going on around us in our environment. So our bodies still do the same thing. The only difference is it was really useful for the cavemen because they would notice their hair standing on straight or the palm sweating before they saw the tiger. Like their body might feel it and try to warn the brain, hey, some crap's coming. Versus now today, more often than not, I think our bodies are telling us things and we can actually choose to ignore it or not. And so I think it's challenging and it takes a lot of practice for us to go through situations like that and not listen to our bodies because we're trained to listen to our bodies. I
yeah,
mean, the greatest clutch performers in sports out there have gotten really in tune with their bodies and have mastered mind over matter, mind over sweaty palms, mind over cramped back, mind over like hair standing straight up because their bodies are telling do not do stuff like I as a performing athlete. I think of Tom Brady. I imagine he's sweating pretty hard on those like game defying moments.
yeah.
And he's just gotten good at using his brain to overcome physical sensations. And so that just takes practice. I think meditation is one of the things you could do to work on bettering the mastery of your mind over your bodily sensations.
Right, okay, I didn't, yeah, that makes total sense now I think about it.
Gemma, it's not that you should do meditation, and you certainly could. And I think
Yeah, I
you
know.
might want to do it more if you could do it. But if
Yeah.
you should do it, I think you're probably going to resist. You know,
No, I'm not. I'm not going to resist. No.
no. If you're, I've noticed in myself every time that I say, "Oh, I should have woke up earlier this morning," or "I should go to bed early tonight," or "I should do X, Y, or Z." I always resist it. It's like my ego, like fighting back against the should. But the moment that I say could, like I could or I could not. Oftentimes, it's a very good idea to do it. But the moment that I say should, it's like, oh, don't tell me what to do, brain. But if it's like a could, it's like an opportunity. It's like
Yeah.
could or I couldn't. Sort of like there's those mornings when you get up and maybe you don't want to go to work, right? And we say, oh, I should get to work. The
Yeah.
moment we do that, I'll bet we probably procrastinate more getting the keys and going into our car. But I bet the moment where it's like, I could be on time or I could be late, I would bet we're more likely to pick being on time if we say could versus should. That's my own opinion. That I'm not an expert on it, but I've just
No, it makes total sense. Like now you're saying it, and I'm just like, wow, okay, I need to do some things, and I need to get my peace level back to where I was earlier before my head and well, me physically needs to kick her backside in the shape and get back to how I was earlier because it was a good day. I was feeling good. I was being rational. I was being logic, and all of a sudden I've crashed and burned within hours, and I'm just like, why did I do this? Why have I done that?
you're over. I think that in your brain, by saying that, you're over dramatizing the situation, which creates more stress for you. When you say you're
I'd say
crashing.
over dramatizing. I'd say maybe overthinking.
Yeah, I mean that might as well be the same thing, right? I mean, drama creates
Yeah,
more stress, right?
yeah.
More
Okay, yeah, okay. Fair, yeah. I'm thinking drama, not really, but yeah, now you said it in that way, yes.
like when I was a basketball coach and a volleyball coach. I remember one kid that wasn't on the team. He came up. He's like, "Yo, I heard your team got demolished last night." I was like, "They lost 14-30, but have you seen the kids walk in? They don't look demolished to me. They look normal." And the
Yeah,
moment we start using words like crash and burn or demolish, that's where we start messing with our confidence. That's where we start
yeah.
messing with like our mindset. But if we can just look objectively at what the score was, we can say, well, we took a loss on the game and the score was this, and this is how we specifically performed. And if we can take the subjectivity out of it and turn it into objectivity, it's a lot easier to not get sucked into the victimhood of things. All right, my laptop's about to go, and
Okay.
I'm meeting up with someone. So
Okay, no
thank you
worries.
all for watching. Gemma, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
Again,
having me.
if you guys liked listening to Gemma, jump over to her channel. Um, Gemma, you're killing me with that long name. I don't want to type that whole thing in. I'm probably gonna get. But yeah, it's Gemma Autism at its best, Grace,
Grace, yeah.
and you can absolutely go over to her channel. She streams pretty much daily.
Yep.
Daily.
And you can expect the LGBTQ video. What's the time for me right now? Oh, later today. It's just gone midnight for me, so you can expect an upload later
Savage.
this afternoon once I've got out of bed.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. If you like this, give it a like. If you dislike this, give it a dislike. If you enjoyed this and you think someone else might gain something from it or enjoy as well, share it with them. Thank you for watching. And Gemma, what do we say?
Stay weird, humans. Yikes.
Oh, yeah.